Yeah, I'm Jackson. I have zero experience with carpentry.
I studied at a school for historic preservation in Boston and learned about how things were built, 250 years ago.
There's a long way to go. I'm nowhere near the top. Not that I thought I was, but there's so much more to do out there.
All right, welcome back to the Passion for Craft podcast. Here we are talking about Pinterest and DIY. It's an episode that I've really wanted to make for a long time. And we're talking to the DIYers out there, hoping to elevate craft in the DIY sphere. So we went to the home of all DIY moms, Pinterest, and we created a fresh, brand new Pinterest account and put our interests as craft interests. So we put woodworking, interior design, architecture, stuff like that. And so we refreshed the page, and we are just going to go down the line and take a look at some of these DIY projects. We're going to call out some of the good ones. We're going to look at some of the ones that maybe won't add value to your house. But we're just going to talk about them from a craft perspective. We've got a master builder and a journeyman here, obviously apprentice as well, but I don't know how much I can provide into what's good and what's bad here. Hopefully that's you guys showing us what's what.
And before we get in, I don't know what we're going to see. Like he said, we just created this account. I just want to say, hey, if these people are happy with what they did, I mean, that's all that matters. It's your house.
No.
Brent, we're getting in too much trouble.
Yeah, I think you make a good point. We've been talking a lot of fun video ideas, and a lot of them we're discussing when do you remodel? How do you remodel? And so many of the answers are it depends, and it depends on what you want, and it depends on how you do it. And so sometimes what you want is like this. We're going to talk about it strictly from a craft perspective. There's going to be obviously some inherent bias in there, of course, but we're going to
side of the table.
From that side, but we're going to try and do our best. Well, I guess bias towards personal preferences.
No, I know.
But we'll be frank and honest about from a craft perspective where we think some of these things lie. And I'm going to challenge everyone at the table, looking at the master, that if there is something wrong with it, let's not swoop and poop, but instead let's provide the alternative that could be done. Remember swooping and pooping?
Unfortunately, yes, yeah. I do remember.
Don't come in, if you've never heard that phrase before, come in and poop all over someone's idea. Instead, provide an alternative. So we'll get started here. I think first thing we see is a bookshelf on the left. Again, fresh account. We hit refresh, the page loaded, and these are the things we see.
I'd like to go down to the picture underneath the zigzag bookshelf.
You don't like the zigzag bookshelf?
Well, I think that
let's just check it off the list,
Yeah.
What do you got about it? Say something.
I'm not into it. I mean,
it's very modern.
It's just why?
Well, because they wanted some funky art piece in their house.
Is that why?
I would imagine. Also, I bet someone built that and they were like, I want to build something. So they built that one. It's geometric in design. Go well in like a sushi restaurant. It would.
Yeah. Here's my problem with this. Okay.
Already that we're going in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that
how about you come up with your problem?
All of these things assume a spark of inspiration. Okay. And, there is, before I make a grand statement, there is very little that we're going to see here that's timeless. Mm-hmm. Okay. That won't look dated in 10 years. And so if you just have in your frame of mind what's going to be timeless, I would say that 1 in 25 of these pictures, I haven't seen any of them except these three, are going to be timeless. They're I remember we went in Colorado to this 70s groovy Colorado condo, and it was so dated. It was just like that picture of that mountain with the lights lit up, made out of wood, is the kind of thing that, is like, that's interesting. I've never seen that before. If that's in your house, you're throwing it away in year 2, right? Because it's just like, it's kind of ugly with
Yeah.
the dark and the yellows
like a
and the
gimmick.
browns, and it's
Yeah.
gimmicky, right? And so it's like I'm curious to how many of these things, like even that shower, which is really modern, and I suppose they're really showing off the lighting and everything else. My wife and my father-in-law could no more shower in that shower because you can't see anything, right? They would trip over themselves and they would fall flat and find my wife dead there at the floor because you can't see, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it looks like, kind of this modern James Bond kind of hip thing, right? Again, not timeless,
Yeah.
interesting. And I find that I'm really going off on Pinterest, aren't I?
Okay, go for it.
Let's let it rip.
I really find that what Pinterest has is, at least in some things, variety, and certainly creativity. I mean,
Yeah.
there's not a lack of creativity here.
So let me just get my lasso out and then hook your heel as you're floating off into the
Yeah.
moon, about to explode from anger. And just bring you back down to the earth. So just as a reminder, what we've said is we're trying to elevate craft in America.
Right.
And so these are the craftsmen, right?
I understand we're trying to elevate, but the light with the mountain wood.
No, I
you
agree.
know,
That one's crap. That's
Like,
the worst
that's-
thing on the page right now.
that's like your kid makes you a picture and you're like, I don't want to throw it away yet. I'll wait until I'll put it on the fridge for a little bit.
when he
And
brings
then-
me something better and then he loses interest in woodworking. Okay, so I guess my point in contrast to you two hooligans is I want to take these things and go, look, what's something else we can do instead of just swooping and pooping? What is something better that they could take from this thing and then do on the wall? Like, they want to woodwork and they want to be doing craft, give them inspiration, give them ideas, because currently this is the inspiration that they're seeing. They're not seeing inspiration like, what would you prefer that they're building?
Well, it's hard to tell someone what to like. I think that's the hard part about
That's
this.
fair.
It's like,
Yeah. Well,
who am I to tell you what to like? Someone could be like, "Excuse me, this thing's freaking awesome." You
I
know?
think the thing that's difficult about that makes it pretty obvious that it's crappy, that we're all saying it's crap, it looks very unsubstantial. Like, it's very thin wood. It doesn't look solid. And also you question the purpose. Like, if you're trying to hang something on your wall, why not put a painting up instead? If you're trying to woodwork something, why don't you make something substantial out of it instead of using a 1/4 inch thick wood to make a frame around, you know what I mean?
Well, what I'm saying is their response might be, "Well, I don't like what you like. Like, I like these gimmicky stuffs from the back row
Yeah.
at Ross, you know?"
Well, I dress for less.
So here,
But I get that point.
Here,
That makes sense.
here is something too. What are we trying to elevate? Are we trying to elevate architecture? Are we trying to elevate craft? Are we trying to elevate design?
I think
Or
in
are we-
this episode, we're talking about
Whatever
craft.
comes on this feed, right?
Whatever comes on the feed, like in terms of like that patio right there, that's probably architecture, right? They're
Bottom right.
Bottom right. So they're trying to feed into what we've put up in the algorithm, and we've just hit refresh on the page. So obviously there are going to be some of the things that pop up here that are not like DIY projects, but so we'll speak to them as they come up. But
All right,
I think
go down farther.
yeah.
Because we're not going to go thing by thing. Okay, what do you think of that?
So we did put what was that? Life hacks.
It's the worst thing I've seen. Oh my gosh! Gotta be effing kidding me! Oh my god!
He can't look at it. Every time he looks at it, the laugh restarts.
Oh my gosh! You gotta be kidding me! Okay, you're gonna go get some Schedule 40 PVC. And you're gonna cut it on a diagonal. I mean, come on.
Yeah, so this is not what we're talking about, obviously. That's not craft.
How do you elevate
gosh.
that?
How do you make it timeless? Oh my gosh, that's the kind of thing that drives me nuts on Pinterest. Okay, let's go to the bookshelf. Can't believe that. Okay, let's go to the bookshelf. I think my initial look at that thing is like, oh, that's kind of fun. That's kind of creative. It looks like the floating shelves are stuck in the wall.
Oh my gosh.
My initial thing is that
chaos.
I'm hitting my eyeball in that corner or something.
Oh, yeah.
Or the kid's head at the bottom.
Is it sticking out or is it indented into the wall?
It's out.
Because I don't like it that it's out. I thought it was indented in. I thought it was inset, that they had just redone some drywall, but it's not.
Like a 1x6, like just mitered around the wall. That's all it is.
I guess my problem with that is that it had to go around the corner. Like, why did it go around the? Why not just do it on the wall?
Let's do this. Let's set up.
We planned this whole episode while you were on your phone.
You
could have had input then.
Let's set up a premise. I know, but now that you see the pictures, you're like, oh yeah, this isn't gonna work because all this. 90% of this is crap.
That shovel clip of you laughing is a short. 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a short.
Oh my gosh.
So what's your benchmark? What's your threshold?
Like that thing on the right,
Yeah.
okay? Or those plants. This is all 70s. It's like did we type in 70s vibe? Because all of this looks like it's done in the 70s.
We've typed in nothing.
And who would ever do that thing on the right, right?
We've typed in nothing.
I agree.
I'm gonna put a light on the wall, but I'm gonna cover it with wood. And it's just, I mean, really? Right? That and it's just gonna float there?
So can we just
like
do a
board?
blank? Can we do a blanket statement on accent walls? Because that's what that is. It's an accent wall.
Well,
as
when
we're
you
scrolling through
what
this.
you do when you do an accent wall, you take all that material that you bought and you return it. you don't do it.
Here's the other thing about this whole thing.
Look, I'll say it. We've said it in the past a billion times. What you're supposed to do with accent walls is don't do something that you're going to do on one wall. Fight to do something to make the whole room cohesive. All right, now continue.
but you have people who are like new parents, trendy people who see it. They like it,
Yeah.
and that's why I feel like, how can we tell them like don't like this?
But that's the thing.
You know?
We're elevating craft to that extent. We've talked about accent walls before, but
Yeah.
we're gonna not talk about accent walls because we've talked about it before. But anytime we see an accent wall, we're gonna make fun of it. But we've said in the past.
Wait. We got to pivot here.
Okay.
Because the problem with these interiors of the house, there's nothing there. And the reason people create accent walls, and maybe this is the thing, the reason
what we're
Pinterest is important and popular and stuff like that is because these houses are so nothing.
There's nothing. Yeah.
There's nothing.
You
in
walk
them.
in, it's drywall.
It's just drywall, and it's just no wonder they're trying to get creative and come up with stuff because there's nothing there. Okay. I used to wonder why they would put signs like gather or fellowship or whatever else, because there's nothing on the wall. And so if there's no architectural details, no architectural actions, and so they own a house like this, they come into a house like this, and they're looking for inspiration, and you end up with goofy, weird things like that.
Like
So-
gather, like it's not obvious this is where we're gonna gather. Like
Yeah.
you have to put it's like an exit sign.
Well,
like,
it's like all these rooms look the same. So in this room, we need to gather. So they have to put a sign up that says "Gather in here," otherwise you're
And
we're
in
gonna be
here-
lost inside this house.
and then in here we're gonna live, laugh, and love on this in this room.
Exactly.
And then
In
having his home
this room,
family.
we're going to rest, and in this room, we're going to they got to put up these signs to tell people what to do in each room.
Whereas
realistically-
architecture communicates it without a sign.
And so that was my point, is that if we go back to Pinterest, all of these things make the assumption that architecture is boring, that architecture needs this kind of embellishment in order to be interesting. And the only place you would put these things is where you have blank
specifically these things,
Blank
meaning
wall.
that
the corner
the
shelves,
corner
like that,
shelves, the
windows
70s,
with the 70s walls
Yeah.
in there, right? It's
and then
Well,
because
the accent wall then was born out of like we wanted. This is just too blank. We
an
gotta put
accent wall was
something.
born out of blandness.
Yeah.
So I actually think if we scroll up just a little
The
bit,
palette count.
I think that pool house is actually really cool.
I'm going to throw one more of the other thing out.
Please, yeah.
All the ones that you think are cool have unique lighting. Look at the planters there. Look
Am I
at
saying the
that
pool
thing.
house is cool? No, where the lighting is. I see it. The
wasn't-
lighting under the
if there wasn't
planters.
lighting in there, things you would not notice these. The lighting in the hall, the lighting up the stairs. Keep going up one more. Look at the lighting under that. Both those two
Yeah.
things, the lighting and the thing. They're almost accenting lighting in the shower. It is the
shovel.
But I still think the
Like
actual
Brent's
structure
shovels.
is great. Like go up to the top pergola, like a little pool house thing. Like I think that one's awesome. That's like a cool outside feature, fun area. Like draws you in, makes you want to hang outside.
Pork chop ends.
Or chop ins. But other than that,
what?
like that's fun. Yeah. What do you need a gabled in there for? Like you don't even.
Or why do you need
They could have
that
just
little
been
piece?
slanted.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't need to do it returned in.
Yeah.
It should be
Yeah.
all open eaves.
Yeah.
And so, why have you boxed the ends in there?
But
But you're saying
I'm saying
it's a cool place.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Like that's a
I
cool
agree.
feature.
It
And
could
then
be
also the water
fixed.
feature that's a little landscape thing. Not too sure about the metal roofing in between, but still, like that's not terrible.
Yeah, it looks like
Lighting.
a nice hangout spot.
You're saying lighting, but it's also like architecturally not bad.
No. It is an interesting picture. Okay.
Yeah.
The serenity of the
Yeah,
water
which-
and just like that. And why is that blue roof is kind of like, what is going on with that? That is an interesting picture.
Yeah. You love the show.
I would just love his reaction to it.
What do you think
It's
about
like-
the stairs, the understairs project? Like, let's say you don't have like access to storage under the stairs, so you build these little things. I've seen this a lot.
I think it's good storage.
Well,
I mean, it's nothing architectural, right?
Right.
It is just,
Well, look again.
it's very functional.
Just to remind you, this is the Pinterest episode. We're looking at people's DIY projects. We're not like
I know. And
these
I,
aren't architectural masterpieces. These are just this
I,
is where
I
craft
only
is
have
today.
one lens to guide
I
things
understand,
through.
but I'm just saying
It's
this is where craft
it's
is
historic
today.
preservation and then classicism. So I look at that and I go, yeah, no, that's kind of clever. Yeah.
But if you've got like, I guess the thing that where I'm trying to draw out of you that you're just giving me nothing is you're talking to future craftsmen, potential craft people, right? Who have put this together. So you see that if it ticks you off, you need to explain to them, hey, divert your efforts into doing this thing, which would be really cool.
I think the pallet furniture ticks me off.
The pallet furniture is dumb. I mean, I'm even looking at that like, why would you waste your time?
Why would you do that? Did you save so much money picking up pallets at the dump that you want to, show it off and then go get made, the pillows and everything else
Yeah, that's the ironic
to
part of this.
sit on top of those pallets?
Those pillows were probably a custom pillow, and they're probably $1,000 each.
And so you're just like, what are you doing? Is the pallet wood that cool that you're like, oh, this is great because I salvaged these pallets.
No, it's great because your forklift can come by and
Move your couch.
Move your couch.
moving's easy.
But
no, I agree. That's
where
dumb.
I look at Pinterest and go, no, right?
I
Run
agree.
away.
I agree. Like I think the guy who's making the pallet furniture has seen it on Pinterest, and it's being affirmed because it's got a lot of up likes on Pinterest. But now you're an expert coming into Pinterest, and you're just going, everything here is stupid. See you later. And then we get more and more of like a bubble in Pinterest world. But now you're engaging with it, Richard. You too, and now you can go look. Do this instead. This would be so much cooler if you just got
If you just got rid
four
of the
by
pallets.
4s and put some planks down and did some plywood. You know what I mean?
I don't think you build furniture, like, in my opinion. Like, I mean, if
Just buy it. Just buy a
I
couch.
think DIY furniture is probably one of the hardest things you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, furniture is another thing,
Yeah.
The
Like
hardest
things you
get-
can do in as far as to executing it, or hardest things you can do to make money.
as far as executing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we want to do this stool thing, the competition.
Mm-hmm.
I never built furniture. That's a crazy, like, really good looking furniture is
Mine
insane.
sucks. I can't wait for y'all to see it.
But yeah, I think you just don't build furniture. Like,
Mhm.
if you're DIYing, I feel like you need to know your limitation.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, because you
Yeah.
think like it's gonna take you years to get the skills to build.
What do you think
nice
about building
furniture.
tables?
I think you don't do it.
I got a
think
couple
you-
of buddies that
I think
just
you build
built
tables.
concrete tables.
I don't know. I'm not into building furniture, so I'm probably the wrong person to ask.
My comment would be, when I first started at North Bennett Street, I was making a lot of furniture, and I learned a lot making furniture, and I think it's worthwhile. I think it should be part of your repertoire of things you should be able to do. I think in the DIY frame,
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I think if you're gonna, like, because I'm thinking of so I've had multiple experiences where I go in and tear out DIY jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking, don't even try furniture.
Yeah.
You know, if this is how you are with moldings, like don't try furniture.
Speak to the DIY moldings you've seen.
Well, we've had multiple people who crown. It's always the crown because
Really?
the crown is upside down and backwards. Cut it nested. You know, it's like, you know, it's a weird thing to grasp when you're first starting.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've even heard of like guys saying like, all right, if you're standing at the saw and you're about to cut this crown, remember it's going to go up this way. So you're cutting it like this,
Yeah.
but it's going to go up reverse.
Yeah.
So if you get confused, turn your back to the saw and like
Look at it
think
there.
of it that way. So it's always the crown. So
Yeah.
we've had to tear out so many rooms of crown of people who started to do it and failed. So that's my perspective.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, don't mess with furniture.
Yeah.
You know?
Next
Yeah.
one. Keep going down. I find that we also you end up on here. If you go down, go back up, the floating shelf. Okay, we saw the floating shelf and the other thing that wrapped the corner. Here's the floating shelf in the kitchen. The floating shelf is one of those fads.
Yeah.
that
This was a
it-
Joanna Gaines.
Yeah,
Made
is going to
big
go
Joanna
away,
Gaines thing.
and we're going to go. Why did we do this? And so that to me is part of that trend. Isn't worth it.
It's so interesting. All the girls in my office just bought pipes and plank and have put up 4 shelves in their office.
So they screwed a pipe to the wall and put a board on top.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 pipes. And it looks, it's like, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not,
It's like your plumbing's coming through the wall.
yes. It's nothing substantial. It just kind of looks weird.
And then go
Yeah.
down.
Green
right there,
room.
the green room.
Hype.
Right. So here is the first, slide we've seen where there's anything traditional or classical.
27. 1 in 27.
Right. And so, there is is the minimal effort. Okay. The uppers and lowers are in the same plane. The arches are weak in because there's nothing framing them out, and there's no
molding.
there's no molding there, and so the color is maybe the thing. If I painted that white, you would swipe past this so fast you wouldn't even know it's there. And so, I think the proportions between the lower and the upper half aren't very good. I think that you're supposed to have typically when you break out something like this, you should have it in divisions of odd numbers as opposed to even numbers, because even numbers cause you to look at that picture that's hung between
middle.
the style.
Yeah.
Right. Your eyes drawn to the center. And so if it's 3, like I would do 1 bigger arch in the middle and then 2 smaller arches before I do 4.
Yeah.
Again, if this was painted white and, you would whip right past it, you wouldn't see it. And here's where this kind of trendy, they got this blonde oak floor and this really cool green wall and, a couple of head busts in there. It looks like it's been staged.
I think this is an interior design. Like this one was flagged for us because of the interior design part of it.
Yeah.
And they're just showing off like an office space, an office room or something like that.
Something.
But it has at least architecturally relevant features. That the cabinets at the bottom should be bigger, correct? The doors Smaller?
Yeah. If that's your
I'm
wainscot,
just
if
curious
that's your
about the gap at the bottom. You know what I mean? See how there's like a
Oh yeah. It's like a huge bottom rail.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, in my mind, I would have a base going across there. If you're going to have a piece of furniture, a piece of built-in in the thing, you need to substantiate it. You need to ground it, and so I would have probably more moldings there. I would, if I was this person, I would just add moldings to that so that it enriched it, visually, and give it visual strength as opposed to relying on paint to ground it.
I feel like the arch is too close to the ceiling too.
Yeah, I agree.
Something's off
I
there.
agree.
So that's how. Okay.
So that's
I
good.
think this was good constructive criticism.
Yeah.
That's how you could elevate.
That was helpful.
Yeah. I think we finally got one.
That's one. That's the first one.
Okay, keep
Keep
going
scrolling.
down.
There's another shovel holder. And a garbage bag dispenser. Look at that.
Wow. PVCs. You could do so much.
You can do
with PVC.
anything with PVC. Outdoor patio. We've got a cutter with
Oh, it goes right into the trash. That is convenient.
genius.
And you
it's
just had
genius.
I mean, you just take a hole saw and just.
Yeah, you just had to drill a hole into your countertop.
What if one accidentally falls in the job flow?
If that causes more problems, then it fixes. You got some landscaping work here. Life hacks to make your own chili seasonings.
So
right there, blank wall. Blank wall has been turned into an accent wall.
Yeah, here's another trendy thing. That kind of vertical thin boards that go along there.
On the right side.
On the right side. They did the same thing with the bathroom above. Maybe it's the same house. Yeah, it's just something that'll be very dated.
Mm-hmm. I
agree.
I doubt that it's the same house. I just bet that this is the Pinterest style that is in existence right now, which is why I think it's crucial for us to
it gets
talk about
it gets
this.
a lot of likes. And there's the floating shelves on the wall again.
Talk to me about this middle photo. This looks pretty decent in my mind.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
I don't understand what's good and what's bad about the above the stove thing. I thought you needed a vent fan above it, but it still looks really good.
I think
got a nice arch.
Light of the pendant over the island, not the arch over that thing. I see.
Yeah, I see how there's an arch over the whole stove area.
Yeah, this would be what I would call contemporary traditionalism.
Okay.
And so, they've got overlay cabinet doors that are meant to look like inset cabinet doors, but they
Wait, hold on. Explain that. What does that mean?
So,
overlay cabinet
all
doors. What is
pre-1940 houses had inset cabinet doors, and so they were inset in the frame. And so, they're right there. See, like they're right there. Those cabinets right there. They're inset into the frame, and you actually see a hinge.
And then
overlay is when you don't see a hinge, and it sits on top of the frame of the cabinet.
Oh,
it's a much cheaper, faster way of building a cabinet door because it doesn't require fitting into an exact opening. It can just be loosely put there. And the box actually inside can actually be crooked as long as the door looks straight.
You just adjust the hardware.
You just adjust the hardware. So they're trying to go after a traditional look because of that, overlay doors that are
inset,
that are all in the same plane. Okay. But that's an overlay cabinet door.
So that's why we see that gap there. Correct?
That's why you see the gap there.
Okay.
That upper cabinet across the top is traditional, right? Going back to the 20s, that's the way they do that. They've got single panel doors. They're not raised panel. It's kind of a hip color. And so I would call this contemporary traditionalism. And
cool.
It's not bad.
All right. Let's keep rocking.
Floating shelf.
It's 2 and 27. All right. Floating shelf. Vertical slats in that shower.
Yep.
More vertical slats in that bathroom.
I mean, the 70s again. There's another one that on the left there. I mean, that's such a 70s vibe. The light, the plant, the colors, just that whole vibe is just. I mean, that looks like from a 70s design magazine.
We've got more farmhouse modern on the right.
Do you like the 70s stuff?
Not really. Not really.
It's a very specific style, right?
Mm-hmm. You need a bong on that, coffee table to complete the look. Maybe a hookah, right?
In the back corner of the room, just coiled. Yeah. All right, let's keep jocking along here. All right.
The outdoor areas, look at the 4x4 porous with lights strung across there, right? Again, you got lighting, but I mean, that's terrible. Right?
That reminds me of just like cheap Airbnb.
So we're about to do some similar thing to this, and after seeing this looks really bad. But
I mean, it looks like they made that in like 2 hours.
It looks like they had
after
to
spending 3 hours at Home Depot.
It looks like it's obviously like not wanting to be permanent. Like they wanted to maybe it's a rental, and they're like, we want to do something cool while we have this lease because we're gonna have to take this down.
We found
none of that is permanent.
We found these old buckets. Let's stick the log in a bucket.
I like to imagine their time at Home Depot. They like walk over to the associate and say, "Hey, I need like big wooden." Like the big wooden
like
squares.
Big chunks of wood.
And then that Home Depot associate calls over another Home Depot associate and goes, well, are you talking about this? And they kind of go around the store, and then they finally get to the place. Then they have to ask the guy, so we're trying to put it in an old wagon wheel. Do you have an old wagon part? Yeah, it just kind of keeps going from there. And they bring in new guys with every question that they have. Are you trying to put gravel down? Let's go get Gary. He knows what he's doing.
Keep going. There's vertical slats again.
Okay, what do you think about this little outdoor garage that's been converted into a sunroom?
I don't like it.
It's a
either.
weird
It
attachment
also looks
onto the
cheap.
house. It looks like
Yeah.
it was just dropped there by a U-Haul. I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out why
I'm
it
telling
looks
you,
so bad.
look at that hot tub. Tell me that's not the 70s. I mean, what in the world is going on?
I'm just
Everything looks the 70s. Is this just my eye?
It is. But why would you want
We weren't there in the
cloth?
70s. No.
Yeah.
True. True.
Why would you want cloth next to a hot tub? Also, seems like a poor planning. All right, so that little modern thing with the slenderest door you've ever seen. It's a
Whoa,
weird
yeah.
little looking thing.
That is a tiny door.
Cozy up to the fire.
So-
Tiny door in the middle, right there. You know. Weird.
That's the picture those people above saw and said, we ought to do this on our house. And
We
so,
need a pergola too.
So they took it to Home Depot and they said, well, we don't have those chairs, but you can do this. And we don't have those posts, you can do this.
No, they went to Pottery Barn. That's
That-
how they got that.
That
That's the
one
next
is
level up.
really weird with
In the middle.
Yeah, with the chairs hanging from it. It's like a chunk of a pergola.
It,
You
it
know?
is like a cross section of a pergola. You're getting no.
Does someone really need that many hooks on their right?
No.
I mean,
Well, they've got one of them filled. So
my gosh. They got
one,
a lot
two,
of
three,
hats.
4, 5, 6 cubbies. So I'm assuming it's a family of 6. So maybe. But anyway, doesn't matter.
We got 7, and I can tell you we wouldn't use those hooks.
Oh, there's another angle of those chairs and thing.
Oh, yeah.
A section
Oh
of
wow, yeah,
in.
it is the same one. Gets a lot of updates.
Okay, so there's nothing I've seen so far. Now we're 80, 70 slides into
We
it.
are?
That has made me go, I want to build that.
Yes, but again, you're trying to teach the people who are on this app to maybe do better. Maybe.
I think you get off this app.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm just like, yeah, no. Gosh, what in the 70s kitchen and bedroom?
I think it's a
Look at
beehive. I think that's just the inside of a beehive.
Does anybody look at that fire pit and say, that's cool, I want to do that?
No. I like those 4 or 5 firewood designs, right? Or the 6 of them. Oh no, that's just steps to make it happen.
Yeah.
Less liked.
Ooh.
Little
Yeah.
towel holder hanging off the wall. All right, what about the far right rooms? Just lighting?
The far right room?
Far right.
The kitchen?
Yep. Do I just like it because it's lighting?
Um,
I like the ribbed ceilings. I think that looks really good. Looks like the inside of a boat.
when you say the lighting, I think the light that seems to cover that space is nice.
No, just previously you said you only like some of these photos because of the lighting.
Yes, and I think that's
You think
true.
that's the case here. Okay. So there's nothing architecturally significant about that one.
No, I mean it's kind of interesting to have a skylight in your kitchen. Yeah, so I'm.
All right, that middle one.
I have changed. Changed apps I'm looking at this point.
Okay. All right. So
Well, that middle one, we've done a lot of those.
Wait,
That-
let's do this.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Type in traditional because we are not seeing traditional. Seeing one traditional picture. Traditional.
tattoos, first result.
No. Home. Traditional home. Okay, now we're talking.
All right. What do you think about these puppies? Got a vaulted ceiling? No. Coffered ceiling.
They've got the beams in the middle there, okay, and that rough timbers, okay, and then the bead board or whatever the V groove board that's above there. Then on the right, you've got that deep coffered ceiling, and I find that coffered ceilings are something that people mess up a lot and don't really know how to do. And so, if you go back to the very top, there's a living room with a quote unquote coffered ceiling made out of antique timbers.
On the right.
I don't think it works. Everything else, if you just held your hand up and looked at that, is very refined and elegant. That cheapens it to my mind.
Is it the colors? Is that what's doing it, or is it just not
I think
proportioned well?
if those were painted better, but
yeah.
if they were treated better. But here's the deal, and here's what drives me crazy is that historically, if you had a timber framed house, you had timbers in the ceiling that were supporting floor joists, and the boards were right on top of that floor joist. There basically is your coffered arrangement. You've got beams, secondary beams, and then planks on the ceiling. They've got planks on the ceiling and these beams that are all, 4 inches, 3 inches down. And there's no way structurally that can hold that up, right? That it's not deep enough. It doesn't work. The boards, so it becomes decoration. It becomes, if you're just wanting to, if I was going to enliven that ceiling and make it different, right? I would have had a grid pattern on there that established some scale and proportion, as opposed to decorating it with these old beams, because they're picking this material, these old beams, and saying, oh, this is really, this gives it texture because this makes it look like it's old. Well, the way they put them together makes it just look like they've did a crosshatch pattern on the ceiling, and it's forgetting historic precedent. It's forgetting traditional building methods. This is the interior designer driving architecture, right? Because there is no architecture there. There is, and I'm nitpicking a little bit because I understand what they're trying to do, and I don't think it's terrible. But it's just like if this were my client, I'd say let's paint those beams.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Totally.
Instead of making them the statement piece.
I feel like you don't even need them. I feel like
I agree.
also
I agree.
And then the perimeter beam is a complete joke. How it wraps the fireplace.
I was curious about that. It looks weird.
Like it's like a beam. Oh, all right, now.
Yeah,
it's
this is where,
like,
and
what?
this is where you know that it's become decoration, right? They're treating it like a interesting crown as opposed to something structural. So it just lessens it in my mind.
And it looks like you said, it looks like a nice space. That really, really hurts the space.
It does. It does. I agree.
So it looks like a fun beach house, and then it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another one.
Well, there's the same house on the left from a different angle.
Yeah, that perimeter beam is just killing it. I mean, it's all not working, but.
And there's the third angle.
The third angle.
Yeah, from the perimeter beam area on outward. All right, here's a facade of a house. This is going to be fun.
On the left.
Yes, sir.
So what style is that?
Yes. It's 3 of them.
Yeah.
So we have like a double A-frame roof. We've got a circular, I don't even know what to call that.
Like a segmented arch.
Segmented arch. And then down
arch.
below, we've got very summery, very open shutter looking things across the top of the window. So those are the 3 distinct styles that I'm looking at.
Well, so this is kind of a neo-traditional Victorian cottage. Done very much so they've mixed all these different elements, these Victorian arts and crafts, traditional farmhouse looking things, and they've got them all going on. And whenever you've got that double gable, you know that it's a new house. I mean, that's going to be one of those.
That's an interesting thing.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things that in 10 years we're going to look back and go, oh my gosh, those houses used to do that all the time. And all it is you've got a gable end, but to make it more interesting, halfway out, you are bumping out that lower section 16 inches so that it can create this more interesting gable end, right? And so it is it's a cheap trick. And they do it all the freaking time. It drives me up the wall.
Yeah, and this is one of those things we've talked about in the past where if you do it right, which is one gable in, you can actually save money. You're doing
No doubt. So, I mean, I've seen a lot worse. Okay. I've seen a lot worse, but
like the one I showed you earlier.
Yeah, totally.
All right. The last one, last little Google search. Can you search in here, DIY house project?
Now you just want Brent to go off. That's what
I'm just curious. I'm just curious what comes out here.
Amazing 2x4 project ideas.
There we go. Any other fun ones that you're seeing, Brent?
She buys PVC pipes and hangs.
What?
Can you click on that?
Gosh, I must have this.
Dang it. I was hoping there was more.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
What in the world?
Oh, those are her
Speaking of
curtains.
rods, wait, scroll back up a little. Scroll up just to that the smaller photo underneath. It says,
Oh
"Speaking of
my
curtain rods,
gosh.
would you believe that would you believe that they're just 1 inch diameter PVC pipe?"
Oh my
That's really
gosh.
funny.
What in the world? That is. Keep going. Oh,
Yeah.
there's your pallet projects.
Projects that sell. So I wonder if that pallet furniture, someone just had it. Someone bought it. 50 scrap wood
A
projects.
lot of scrap wood projects. Cheap and easy pallet projects. That must be a thing. Baby gate.
What I made with this one board. It makes you want to click, doesn't it? There it is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the Pinterest
What a
system.
condescending comment. Did you read that guy's comment?
What did he say?
Look at what he said.
Marissa, it's a little crooked, but not bad for a beginner.
I mean, what a jerk to type that in. Marissa, yeah, not bad for a beginner.
It is a little crooked.
Oh, look at the hose on the wall. What a great idea.
Oh gosh, that's bad.
Wow.
I didn't realize that. They probably poked little holes in it so it sprays out water
Yeah.
whenever they turn it on. And it's watering their garden. Modern house number sign, yeah. Oh, here, just go to easy house projects on the left. Let's just see one more up top. There you go. Let's see what happens. One plank wood projects.
Look at the book thing.
Oh, you keep your page.
Oh my gosh.
Well, and your glasses there too. What a great
that's
project.
$40.
$40. Free shipping though. So
Oh my gosh.
shoe holder,
Ooh,
mailbox.
that mailbox is bad.
It's $8.
Look at the magazine holder
Oh, where have you seen that? Oh yeah.
with the
Hey,
little.
if you didn't know, that's for your keys right there.
Is that a skateboard holder?
Yeah, it is. That key holder up there is $50. Oh, that's an $80 skateboard rack.
Are these all Etsy? Yeah, they're
Yeah,
Etsy.
they're Pinterest combined with Etsy. I
Oh,
guess.
look at that. Yeah. Oh, good thinking.
yeah.
Yes. Let's stain it to bring your eye to it.
You know what?
Yeah.
It's
Let's
just
stain it
2x4.
so those 2x4s look great.
It's an easy project.
Oh my gosh.
All right, we've had our
Okay,
fun.
this is like the dark web of everything we're against.
Yes,
It's
it
crazy.
really is.
Like when we were frustrated and passionate, like this is what we had in mind.
Yes.
We were like, craft sucks.
Well, look, this is the reason we're doing this episode, right? This is not to find some hidden gems out there, but this is to hopefully tell these people, this is where you're off of the track. This is where you can.
The chair, the PVC chair.
Yeah, that's brutal. Bow and arrow holder. These actually aren't as bad
Oh,
as
the
I
boot
thought they could
warmer
have
with the
been.
hair dryer. You get all your boots. Wow.
$3.
Yeah. No, I feel bad because
The drinks.
we're just making fun of this.
Hey, we're just.
I don't
having fun.
want to be ugly.
These people deserve it, though. If there was ever a time that they deserved it, it's now. We're
How
gonna
is
go
that
to your
PVC
house and you're
gonna
gonna have
hold that up?
that boot warmer.
Yeah. That's his best. Anyway, well, again, the reason that we're here, the reason that we're on this website, is because these people are doing craft. Like it or not, like what they do or not, they are day in and day out building things, making things, doing things. I think there's a real market for encouraging these people to build better things and to elevate their craft. I don't know if we encourage them to do so.
I don't know if I guess the guy I would be talking to on these things is there's someone out there who's kind of handy. It's kind of, he gets, he's a young kid. College didn't really take. And so he's been doing odd jobs for his parents' friends, and he's on Pinterest, and his clients are saying, "Hey, will you build this for me?" And he can do it.
Yeah.
Right. And
But then this is where he goes. This is where he goes.
I understand,
to
but
I want
I want this guy to be going. I guess I could be doing a little bit more. I guess there's more than this. I hope that I mean we're giggling at this. I don't want this to be, you're an idiot for doing this. Instead, I'd rather be great. You're started.
Where was this an hour ago?
You're started, and now you're, let's go to that next level. Let's go. Let's keep going
got
up.
it. You finally got it.
This is what I've been saying. Why couldn't we have said this to all the
Because I was so distracted by those
my
freaking ideas, I couldn't think straight.
The shovels got
the
him.
whole idea. All right. Well, look. Now that we've figured out where this video is,
angle.
well, you know why they put it at an angle, so they could screw it in the wall. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to. Hey, will you type in epoxy table?
It would be fine if it was just cut straight, but let's cut it at an angle.
There are a lot of guys that you just described that do this.
Oh, I know. I see those on Instagram.
What are your
all
thoughts
the time.
on these tables?
Again, you are allowing material to be your craftsmanship, right? Because all they're doing is mixing a green colored epoxy and pouring it into a form. And so they've basically taken an old board, sanded it, and then poured it into a form. I don't think that's high levels of craftsmanship. Fine, if your client loves it, it's not the worst thing in the world. But what's her face?
Chip and Joanna.
Chip and Joanna. Mm-hmm. Remember that guy that used to build tables for them?
No.
Yeah, Clint Hart.
Harp
Something.
That guy was a.
Is this not a masterpiece?
He may be a better craftsman now, but he was a design leader who really wasn't a very good craftsman, and
Yeah, the guy who built all her tables.
Yeah,
they were just basic.
Yeah, they were salvage wood tables, and so very basic. And so anyway,
a lot of screws and stuff.
That is the guy we're trying to encourage to build better. That is the guy that we're trying to. Okay, quit using screws now, right? Let's do some mortise and tenon joints with some peg joinery. Yeah. Let's do that. Okay. Now, strengthen, have it the same strength as before. Okay, let's upgrade our wood quality from pallet jacks or pallet, scraps to, let's find some. Okay, let's make a trestle table. Let's make, let's start doing some curves. Let's start, let's raise your game. Start picking your thing up. Start working in wood in different ways so that we're not doing this.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this episode of the Passion for Craft podcast. Hopefully, you were encouraged and really just nurtured and brought up.
Like the way you said that, encouraged. Kind of cringing
by
at the same time.
All the kind things said. Don't go to Pinterest. I think that's fair. Look elsewhere for DIY. Honestly, WikiHow is better.
Well, and this is the reason why I have my library.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Because, always looking for inspiration. This is why I just did the drop this last few times on those architectural portfolio series. There's hundreds of those things. That's inspiration. That's you'll never find that on Pinterest. Yeah. FYI.
Yeah.
So get on Pinterest and start to put your stuff.
Well, everything starts looking the same when you go there.
Yeah.
It's true. We saw 3 of those shovel holders.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.